This one's for anyone working a 9-to-5 job wondering, how can I become a millionaire? Our guest today shows how wholesaling real estate allows you to find great deals, even if you don't have all of the money to buy more than 1 or 2 rental properties, and amass a 7-figure net worth. This is the podcast for 10xing your income and replacing your W-2 with wholesaling real estate, a strategy where you can find rundown houses and make big checks by passing them off to real estate investors. My name is David Lecko. I created a process that's helped 10,000 people do their very first wholesale deal across all 50 states with the platform DealMachine. And Ryan's my co-host. Ryan, how'd you get started in wholesaling?
Man, I started the 30-day wholesaling challenge, and in 14 days, I made $8,500 and was able to walk away from my W-2 job and never look back.
That's right. And today, our guest made a modest $2,000 on his first deal, but talks about how important it was as a proof of concept and where he went from there to amass a 7-figure net worth. So, Nasar, how did you make $2,000 on your first wholesale deal?
Driving for dollars. It took me 8 months of driving for dollars, and I closed my first wholesale deal.
Okay.
8 months.
That's a long time. Was that something that you felt was good and you wanted to do again? How'd you feel after that?
I felt great after I closed the deal because all I wanted was proof of concept. I had a job, but I just needed proof of concept that this wholesaling thing actually works. And that's exactly what it gave me. And from there, man, it was on the popping. So yeah, absolutely. I was still driving for dollars.
Do you remember some of the details of that deal and how it worked out?
Absolutely. I could have probably made more, but I was so new with everything. So I got it was a retired landlord, guy that did very well in his life, and he had a property which at the time we would call a hood. Right now it's prime real estate. To put it in perspective, like houses around there today probably go for $400,000 and $500,000.
Wow.
Yeah, really nice. Well, it's prime now, but back then it wasn't. So with that being said, I was jobbing for dollars, sitting out. Now, I was doing all this by hand, okay? And, I don't know if you get the complaints, but people complain about the DealMachine service, and I try to tell my students, y'all don't know how easy you got it. So I had to do flat by hand, the research all by my time. So with that being said, sent out a postcard to this particular gentleman, and he called back. He said, yeah, I want to sell my house. I've been a landlord 20, 30 years or whatever. And when I say he was older. He's like, yeah, I just want to get rid of this thing, man. I'm done with the business. He was like, I can't even write off any more depreciation of this thing. I had it so long. So, I was an accountant by trade. Man, I just want to get away from these things now. So he met me at the property. The guy wouldn't even come in the house. He wouldn't even come in the house. He was just saying, really nice guy, really nice guy. I went in the house and it was bad. It was bad. So, I got it under contract for $15,000 because it was worth $30,000. Right? So I figured it needed about, $15,000 work. And I was like, well, it's worth 30, so just give me 15 then. I said, all right. So I found some more issues with it. So I had to renegotiate the contract to I think 11,000 or something. And we end up selling it for 13,000. And the buyer that I had in the hook, he would have paid 15,000 for it. It's just that he would have paid 15,000. But I think I called him. I said, hey man, we just found out that the building doesn't have any pipes or anything under there. Somebody stole all the copper. So,
What?
We're reducing the price. And he was like, reducing it to what? It was like 13,000. He's like, okay, yeah, sure. And of course, he was ecstatic. I didn't know at the time, you know what I mean? But And yeah, so he bought it and put the deal together, and that was that. And I had proof of concept, man. I just felt like, okay, I'm an official real estate investor. I got it.
So I've got one question. I probably have a ton more, but when you had to go back and renegotiate, because sometimes that, for people who are just getting into this, that can be an intimidating thing to the point where they won't do it and they'll just accept making a smaller fee. What was the conversation like when you had to present that renegotiation to that seller? How did that go? What did you say? What did you do?
So I had a mentor helping me. So I did have a mentor helping me on my first deal, guiding me. And she was like, well, this doesn't have any plumbing. They took all the copper pipes and everything else. So, and she's going to need, she was like, yo, you're going to have to renegotiate. And I was like, okay, well, cool. And I just used that, like, hey, this probably needs a little bit more work, etc. And I did it. You know, like, I'm all new to this, so I'm being instructed what to do. So whatever my instructor is telling me to do, I'm just doing it. I'm literally, I'm new to this side of the business. So if whatever they told me to do, I did it. And, you know, it ended up working. And while we was walking through the house, we thought it was a dead body in there, right?
Oh, gosh. What?
The smell was so crazy. And it was a dead body. So my mentor was like, yo, it's something dead in there. It was like the door out, or it was attached to the property. It's like what we call a storage unit. And it's one of those properties, I don't know if they have them where you at, whereas you open the door, there's like a larger unit. Oh, I'm sorry about that. And there's like a larger unit, and like we keep the water heated and everything else at. So a utility room.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we get a drink of water. So she was like, yo, I know this smell. This is a dead body. I said, what? I said, okay, plus house. You know?
She said it so casually.
Right.
Dead body.
Like my first house. Okay. She was like, no, she's been doing it at that time. We're talking 2011. She's probably been doing it 2 years plus. So, oh, excuse me, my allergies are going on, guys. So, she was like,
You're good.
I know the smell. This is a dead body. And I said, what? No, I can't be. My first house. So she was like, listen.
Right. First of all, Ryan, you've done 400 deals. How many dead bodies have you found?
0.
Yeah.
None that I've found. No.
It's not a common thing.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
So, she got the door open. And when we got the door open, it was a dead cat. And
Found that.
the cat had like 5 or 6 kids. So we called like the city people and called us, they removed them, the animal protection services or whatever. I'm sorry, my allergies are going up.
No, man, you're okay. You're good.
So yeah, but that was, fortunately wasn't a dead body. It was a dead, the dead cat and some kids in the back of there.
Wow. And the kids were alive. Like, they needed to be adopted.
Correct. The kid was alive. Yeah. And the animal people came and got him.
Wow. Okay. Well, dang. Glad it wasn't a dead body.
Oh, God.
So you got the proof of concept. What did you do from there?
Oh, from there, I started doing more marketing campaigns, started to get bigger, right? Like pulling the list and just sending out postcards.
Okay. And how did that go?
My first marketing campaign, I bombed. But after that, I started to go at the code enforcement list, and then I started to get deals from that and drive for dollars. I was getting deals both ways. So I started to do one to 2 deals every other month or so.
Okay. Were you able to increase from $2,000?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was making like
How did you do that?
$5,000. At that time, this was like the biggest recession since the Great Depression. So that's why my fees were so low.
Hey guys, if you know you want to quit your job in the next 3 months, make sure you're subscribed to this podcast because we've got some incredible frameworks with step-by-step instruction that you're not going to want to miss. Also, leave us a rating and review to let us know your favorite parts and why you want to get financial freedom.
And then you said that was this 2011?
This 2011, in November 2011, I did my first deal, but this is like going through 2012. Now, 2012, if you guys are old enough to remember, that's when the market started to go up, okay? So the Obama administration put in all the incentives so that people could start buying houses. In 2012, that's when prices finally started to go up a little bit. And then,
got it. And so,
yeah.
When the house values went up, that means people were getting more equity in their homes, right? So if they had a tough situation, they actually had equity there in order to work with, right? So they could sell it to you. You could provide that speed and convenience, and then you had room to make money as well.
That is correct. But when prices went up, the cash buyers started to come back in the game. The investors started to come back in the game. So you got that from that period of 2007 to 2012, the real estate investors that were around were out. Like there was no cash sitting on the sideline. Like it was bad. Like, so during that time, this is going to sound crazy for a lot of people. It was easy to find sellers, hard to find cash buyers. Like you really had to put in work to find cash buyers because there were not many people buying at that time because it was, anything associated with real estate or the stock market was doom and gloom.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay. So, dang. All right. So, I mean, you've gone on and you've been doing real estate for quite a while, right? Like, why did you keep doing real estate? What was so exciting about it compared to, pre 2011 for you?
Man, I was too stupid to quit, man. I was just young and fortunately I wasn't scared of anything. And I'm like, I know this real estate thing work. I just gotta make it work for me. And, September 2012, got fired from my job. I have a bachelor's degree in communications. So it was like my fourth job in 4 years from 2000. I graduated school 07, 2008 to 2012. It was my fourth job in 4 years. So I finally got fired, and I just believed that real estate would work. Real estate was going to be my wealth builder and give me financial independence. Now, I truly believed in that. So that's why I never quit on real estate.
Do you feel like it has done that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, yeah, I got this. I'm not putting your business out there, but you have it. I know you personally. You have a 7-figure network, right? Like, if that 7-figure network that you have, right, and yours is, and mine and yours is net, right? Like net, like we'll, after selling everything, we'll walk away this big net number, right? So with that being said, what job was going to do that for us? Mm-hmm. And there's not too many jobs. You fill out a job application and they give you equity. Mm-hmm. It can happen, and we see it with these startups in Silicon Valley, where employee 1, employee 5, they might get equity. It can happen, but for 99.8% of Americans, that's just not going to happen.
Right.
You just don't walk into a job and you get an equity share. That doesn't happen.
Right. Well, a lot of people, they start with wholesaling because they can see how much money they can make when they're passing off that rundown house. Is that what you're talking about? Are you making more salary, or is there another way that you're able to build that net worth?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me be specific. That was actually owning real estate, right?
Yep.
So
yep.
Wholesaling is great. Wholesaling is a great way to get started. Wholesale is a great way to maintain. Wholesaling is something great to give you a good life, however you want to look at it. I'm not going to, some people, when I first got in wholesaling, was looking at it as a starter tool. But with wholesaling, you can grow into 7 figures annually, and if that's what you want to do. But for me, I just always wanted to be a real estate investor since I was the age of 19. I am now 40 years old. So with that being...
Damn, you look good.
Thank you. So with that being said, wholesaling for me, like my goal was to utilize wholesaling to fix and flip houses, to buy rental properties, etc. So I built that net worth through owning a rental portfolio. That's how I built that net worth.
Amazing. So you started off wholesaling, you got proof of concept, and then when did you actually get your first rental property and decide to do that?
Okay, so I did everything backwards. Like I was like one of those guys. I jump off the building and grow wings on the way down. I'm one of those guys. So my first rental, buying it the right way, let's say that, buying it the right way, I will say that I did my first wholesale deal in 2011, bought my first rental the right way, probably like 2014, around there.
Okay, gotcha. Wow, 2014.
It's a big stretch.
Yeah. And you did it backwards. So you're saying you suggest somebody start with wholesaling?
Absolutely. It's the least amount of risk. And just to tap on my story a little bit. So in 2007, I bought a property, fix and flip. If you're wondering how I got the money in 2006, 2007, anybody could have got money for a house. Well, not me, anybody. I literally mean anybody. You had a social security number. Hey, go take money for a house. Like literally that's what it was, right? And so I took advantage of that. It didn't work out for me. Me and my partner lost $7,000 apiece on the flip.
No. After all that work, you lost $7,000 apiece?
That's correct. Yeah. So
dude, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And that's reality. I learned years on that most people either break even or lose on their first flip. So if you win on your first flip, you're doing great. So,
wow.
I went through that with me and my partner. We went through that, and then 2008, I moved to Charlotte. I bought the property the traditional way. I was making $10 an hour in the call center. 2009, that was a rental property. 2009, I did it again. I tried to buy another rental property, a third one in Charlotte, but it was like, my income is too high, so that did not work.
Yeah, so a lot of people, that's the roadblock they see, is like they don't have enough cash to get more rentals. Or the debt to income, kind of runs out quickly.
So, learning about creative real estate investing, right? So, wholesaling is a niche within creative real estate investing. But learning about creative real estate investing, I've learned that wasn't even a hurdle. Like that's just nothing. And the way I learned was I got around the right people. I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad at the age of 26. First started reading. I didn't read in college, didn't read in high school. 1.8 GPA in high school, cheated all through college. Read this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that led me to joining the RIA. The RIA is the Real Estate Investment Association. So now you young folks, I don't necessarily have to do that. You have all these avenues. You have the DealMachine community. You have YouTube. If you go on meetup.com, every major city is going to have 100 plus meetups. Back when I first started, it was maybe like 2 or 3 active podcasts on real estate investors that were active. All the rest of them fell off. Very few meetups in the city because real estate didn't work at that time. That was what the media was putting out. And on YouTube, it was only a few select people you could hear real estate stuff from. So, now it's probably millions on there talking about wholesaling.
Right. So you start off wholesaling, you use that to build your skills and get paid. But ultimately, just a resounding theme from what you work on and do is that you can start with wholesaling, but actually owning the real estate instead of selling all those wholesale deals is how you can build some real long-term wealth. So it's great to hear that story while we focus on wholesaling mostly on this podcast so that people can see around the corner and envision themselves getting to 7 figures, but buying those houses to even increase their net worth more so kind of in the background. So keeping more of those wholesale deals for themselves.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You just definitely want to keep them. Wholesale is great. Wholesale is excellent, but put yourself in a position to keep those deals because if you guys follow social media, I'm sure you guys are listening to it. There's a lot of guys who claim to be big wholesalers, and next thing you know, they're doing Amazon. They're doing...
Oh, yeah, I've seen that before. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
They're doing everything else. The wholesaling can and some of those guys who were just wholesale, they had to go back and get jobs. So you want to have multiple tools in your toolbox, right? So you don't want to go to every issue with a hammer. You want to have a screwdriver. You want to have a pair of pliers. You want to have multiple tools in your toolbox. So that's what I teach my students, so that once they are able to exit that job, they're able to stay out that job.
Love it. So guys, follow the Real Estate Guru. Why do you call yourself the Guru, by the way, on Instagram?
Yes. The reason why I'm the Real Estate Guru, because I'm not a guru, I'm a guru, because I actually do this business. So that's why I am the Real Estate Guru. And that's trademark, and I own that, and it's the one and only. People like to use it, but it's only one.
I love that, man. Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey, how you started with that $2,000, and you've now amassed, created what you can't find in any other job, right? Which is that equity that just grows and grows as you keep growing. So super inspiring to hear that from you, Nasar. Any final tips that you'd want to leave somebody who may be looking for that first wholesale deal or maybe just got started in wholesaling?
Absolutely. So focus, follow one course to successful. That's it. Block out the noise, follow one course to successful. I know it seems simple, but the simple stuff is the stuff that you actually need to do to become successful. And also, for all those listening, allow me to invite you to my challenge coming up in March. So if you go to firstflipchallenge.com, firstflipchallenge.com, you can register. I strongly recommend you get a VIP ticket so you can have consistent access and ask me questions for the whole challenge. And I am going to have special guests. One of those special guests is going to be my man from DealMachine. We're going to come on and we open and rock your socks. So please, register for that.
We're going to love it rocking their socks, man. The challenge is such a great format because, as you just said, as a beginner, you got to focus on the simple stuff. And so it takes it from high level down to what you need to be doing every single day. So that's definitely something you should check out. Thank you so much, Nasar, and we will see every one of you in March.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.